Alright, everyone. So, I hope you'll watch this whole video because you're going to see some things you've never seen, and you're going to learn some things that you didn't know that are critical in understanding our origins and the implications that these things have today. Now, these plasma glyphs and the language here was lost to history, and only recently have we deciphered this language of this electricity thanks to the Thunderbolts Project, Walt Thornhill, David Talbot, Anthony Pratt, and many others. This is the dance of the torus fields and the Z-pinch effect when this planet got too close to us. These were the plasma effects seen globally as this cataclysm is occurring, which was the scattering of our original Birkeland current solar system of planets locked in a straight line. The archetype of the stairway to heaven, Jacob's ladder, is electricity. This little guy right here, I am certain, was another plasma feature that was seen, Northern Lights type of morphing plasma. I'll refer to it as the RAM. The RAM is all over this panel, and I always think of Tom Hanks stranded on that island, his desperation and frantic behavior, which is what this is. This documentation of what was seen under Ra, the Eye of God, Saturn, Mars, and Venus in the northern sky, visible globally. This is what this all is. The morphing, twisting plasma of the electrical cataclysm of the planets. Here again, the RAM and the original Ra. The dance of the torus field is the stickman petroglyphs. Oscillating electrical phenomenon. Again, the so-called RAM. All around the world, we see this torus field. This is the language of electricity, and electricity is ultimately in control of the cosmos. Ancient El. The first religion was Zoroastrianism, and when they talk about the creation of the universe, they talk about the death of the bull of heaven. But I want to focus on the last sentence here. It says, this assault turned the perfectly flat, peaceful, and ever day-lit world into a mountainous, violent place that is half night. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what happened electrically. But the ancients personified this electricity and everything that was seen into gods and serpents and dragons. Hebrew word sun is shemesh, which is all too similar to this ancient Sumerian shamash, which is depicted here. And Sumerian texts literally say shamash is Saturn. It's another variation of this torus field under shamash, ladder, stairway to heaven. It's interesting to note that in Babylonian times, Saturn was not only the personification of the sun, but was recorded as the actual sun. Babylonian literary sources say, "We learn from the notes written by the astrologers that by the word sun we must understand as the star of the sun, i.e. Saturn." In an archive of an ancient astrological report, the text says Mul il Samasu'u. The word Samas, or Shamash, is the name of the Babylonian sun god. Because there is a division mark between Mul and Samas, a more accurate rendering of this text should read, planet Saturn as a star is Shamash, or Saturn is the sun star. In recent years, there have been many astronomical texts come to light clearly expressing that the star of Helios and the star of Sol were in fact Saturn. Even the Egyptian sun god Ra has been identified with Saturn and not with our current sun. These original references to Saturn are not mistaking it for the sun, but are instead telling us that what was once called the sun is the same astral body we presently call Saturn. The Babylonians called the planet Saturn Ninib, which is an older rendering of Ninurta. In early commentaries, Ninurta was a solar deity, and the Chaldeans who ruled Babylon in the 6th century BC referred to Saturn by the name Helios, meaning the sun. The Greeks called Saturn Phanon, which means the shining one. It's an interesting question to ask ourselves if Saturn is in fact our ancient sun, and could it possibly be linked to the origins of our Judeo-Christian portrayals of Lucifer, the bearer of light, or falling star? There is staggering evidence out there which aims to prove this could in fact be a very real possibility, and if so, could shed light on our entire origins history throughout all religions, mythologies, and folklore. This could one day explain our many ancient epic tales, which should be spelled differently, that took place in the sky when Saturn lost its title as the brightest morning star, and Saturnalia was dethroned and conquered as our falling sun god. And this is the work of Anthony Peratt, world-renowned plasma scientist working in the Los Alamos laboratory, reproducing what we see in the global petroglyphs, this dancing torus field that happened during the destabilization of our Birkeland current Saturn-dominated solar system, when the current sun and Jupiter came in and scattered it all. And we see even the Dogon tribe, the isolated African tribe, to this day remembering what they saw. And panels like this are showing you this scattering of Ra. And again, the ram seen during the scattering. This is the war in heaven, the gods. And the gods warring amongst the dancing Taurus field. This cannot be denied or ignored. Again, the Dogon tribe, the bull of heaven, the Taurus field. The ram, the serpent, the Taurus field. It's all electrical. And this is my contribution to the Electric Universe community, realizing that the Exodus story is this cataclysm, and the Taurus field is the menorah. And this realization destroys the narrative of Christianity and Judaism. The menorah is the dancing stickman Taurus. The ancient El, when they saw God, the electricity. So I welcome anyone. Please let me know how this is wrong. How this is not electrical. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.